So you want to make dark trap beats for Lil Baby, Young Thug, and Future, just like the new track Dumb Dumb and Dumber. Wild name, by the way. But no matter what you do, your beats just aren't hitting like that. Well, don't worry, I got you, because in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make them from scratch. And trust me, they'll be hitting so hard your neighbors 5 doors down will be complaining. Plus, if you ever get stuck, or if you like most producers who never even finish their beats, I'm breaking down some game-changing techniques to make sure you never run out of ideas again. So pay attention, take this one in properly, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so for the BPM, we want to stick around 130. And I always like to start with the melody. So I'm going to pull up Analog Lab first. We'll go to my Abyss bank. And I just want to start with some keys. I'm going to use the admin preset. I'm going to change the delay to normal. And I'm just going to choose any minor scale for now. Let's go with A sharp. Usually when I'm making dark trap melodies, I make them with the intention to flip them. So I know later on that I'm probably going to render it and pitch it up by like 3 semitones. That would take me to C sharp. And I know that 808 will probably hit nicely there, but I'll get to that soon. Let's just start by drawing some chords. Let's bring this one down and we'll bring this down too. So I'm feeling that. Let's make a change here. So all I'm thinking about here is creating tension. And if you watch a lot of my videos, you would have heard me explain this a lot. But when I'm making chords for dark beats, I don't change the progression too much. I keep the notes pretty close together. So for example, I just copied this one and brought this note up. Because when you make use of these half steps, which are just one note apart, it will just help you create a dark vibe. Could copy this chord over. This gives us this A sharp minor chord. Could copy these bottom notes down. Do something like this. Maybe we come back to this chord. Let's just see what this sounds like. Like even that by itself sounds kind of hard. And then once we've got the chords we like, we can expand on this a bit and make it more interesting. Let's make a cut there. Yeah, let's make the cut there instead. Press Alt and R to randomize the velocity. And then we'll just strum the chords with Alt and S. I'm going to take that and copy it. You know what? Maybe I will keep that delay on. Kind of like the way it sounds. Let's send that to a mixer. We'll add some halftime. We'll also pitch it up an octave. Just going to take out some of the lows as well. Also going to throw on some Portal. We'll go to the pulse wave bank. Yeah, maybe this. I'm just looking for a preset that's really going to warp the sound. Next up, I want to create something kind of repetitive. So I'm just going to use a pluck. This one's from Electra. There's no thought process. I'm just seeing what notes sound good. You'll see where it's going soon. But I'm just going to copy this. Could even make that faster. Let's bring this back, quantize it. And then we'll throw some halftime on this. When I'm making dark stuff, I just like to process things as much as possible, just so things can sound really warped and not like the straight from a VST. Maybe that. Just got it on 4 times. Maybe this preset though. I'm going to add one more layer and then I'm going to flip it and then think of some more stuff to add. So I'm just going to take that first MIDI and copy it in. Then we'll just find a pad for this one. Sounding a bit drilly right now, but you'll see. Okay, I'm going to quickly split that. Just have one with the plucks and one without. I'm going to render the master. And then with this, let's pitch it up 3. Let's try and double the speed. Let's try and reverse it as well. That sounds kind of hard. Stretch it one more time. Yeah, let's throw a hard time on this. See, that's the foundation sounding better. That sounds crazy. Now we've got more of a trap vibe. All right, here's where I want to show you some quick solves because I know a lot of producers that will get to a point like this and they're really struggling to think about what to add next. And that's one of the main reasons that producers don't finish the beats. They start some ideas, they get a bit lost and not really sure what to add, and then they just quit and move on to the next one. So if you're anything like that, I think this is really going to help you because this is crazy. So I'm going to go to the master channel and I'm going to go to co-producer, which is a brand new plugin by Output. So what this will do is actually listen to what you've made and help you find high quality, royalty free samples made by musicians. So remember, I started in A sharp minor and I pitched it up 3. So now we're working in C sharp or D flat. Now we need to capture the audio, so we'll click here and you can listen to 4 or 8 bars. Let's choose 8. Now we've got 2 options. So if we click find samples, it's going to find samples in the outputs library that will sound good with your beat and what you've already made, which is crazy. Or we can type something in to make it a bit more specific. So I'm going for a dark and energetic synth trap beat. So we could type in something like, let's just type in dark lead. I think a lead over this will sound kind of sick. And check this. So it knows the project BPM. We've already set the key. Now we can just play our beat and go through some of the recommended samples. That was kind of crazy. Turn it down a bit. Ooh, this one sounds sick. Yeah, I think we could add that, you know. If we like it, we could just drag it straight into the playlist. Or if you want to keep searching, we could go to show similar samples and even generate sampler in the arcade to start chopping it up. You know what? That end part sounds sick. Might just want to keep that. Just chop the beginning off. That sound hard in one part. Let's get some reverb on there though. Let's keep processing though. We'll pitch it up an octave. And of course some halftime too. Yeah, that sounded crazy. Let's go back to co-producer. Oh, this one actually. This one sounds crazy. That's the type of vibe I was looking for. Yeah, let's drag that in. Thinking we could pitch that up an octave. Crazy. This is mad. Let's see what it would recommend if we didn't add any text and just clicked find samples. Alright, so this is recommending quite a few drums. So that could be a good sign that it's ready for drums, but I want to keep adding to this. What if we just typed in cinematic track? Oh, this one. That sounds crazy, you know. I think we'll take that, but just in case, let's go here and select show similar samples. Because maybe you find something that's just not quite there. That could work. That one as well. I like that this isn't designed to just create everything for you. I feel like the main purpose of this is to just give you that extra push. So maybe if you're stuck on a beat or if you're not really sure what sound is going to sound good with your beat, this is going to be really useful. So you could go back to all your projects that you haven't finished, pull up co-producer and just see what it recommends. Now, just so you know, Output have sponsored this video, so a huge shout out to them. I'll never endorse something that I don't believe in or I don't think you'd benefit from. I've been using Output's products way before we started working together and always loved them. So this one's actually sick to see because this is something quite unique. If you want to try co-producer for yourself, I've left a link in the description so you can get a 7-day free trial. And if you're already using Output Arcade, you can try this for 60 days. You get unlimited usage for these samples, so there's no credit system. And the plans start at less than $10 per month. So make sure you check this one out. I think we can find one more thing. Let's type in trap synth. This one sounds hard, you know. Let's bring that one in. Let's fade this in. Copy that over. And then with this sound, maybe we could just use half of it and then bring it up like this. Turn it down a bit. Okay, this really needs some bass, so let's find one. Yeah, those should just be in one part. Let's copy this, pitch that up. Same with this one. Alright, I think at this point the melody's ready. I might come back to it later, but let's get some drums in for now. Let's grab something like this, and then I think we can layer it with a clap. So we'll just stack them. Let's use my go-to hat. Now in the track, the hats are pretty crazy, so all we're going to do is just start with a simple bounce, but then we'll add quite a few rolls to get an interesting sound. we're just going to play with a pitch of some. And I'm just hitting Alt and U to bring up the chop tool. See what this sounds like. Let's copy that. Now with this one, I think we could just bring some of the notes down like this. Then maybe another one right at the end. Or like this, so we'll bring one up here. Only thing I might change is in the second half, we can add some slides. So we'll add one note on top and then a slide underneath, but we'll bring this one down. Okay, for the 808, I'm going to add the spins. We're going to make it a bit more interesting. So we'll get the pattern in first. Plus, you want to set it to cut itself. And when I use the spins, I usually just boost it into a soft clipper. And then for the soft clipper, I've been going back to the fruity soft clipper recently. So let's copy that. Maybe we'll pitch this one up. Pitch this one up an octave too. Then with this one, we'll do 2. Just bring this velocity up a bit. And then we're going to add a roll right at the end here. So you'll want one pattern that's kind of simple. And then for some variation, like the actual track, you want to go a bit crazier with the rolls. So yeah, we'll just continue with this. Yeah, this pattern sounded crazy, you know. Might not even need a kick, you know. A lot of people don't use a kick these days because they just boost the spin so high that it sort of creates that distortion and transient from a kick. I don't know, man. I always feel weird not using kicks. Let me know in the comments if you use kicks for these type of beats or if you just use an 808. All right, next up, I'm going to pull in this essential snare. I just copy this pattern in. But with this one, I'm also going to create some snare rolls. So I think we could use that pattern for the count snare, but then towards the end, it can just get a little bit more intense. So like 2 here. Maybe we'll pitch these down as well. Alright, because we've got so many hats and 808s in this beat, you don't need to add loads of other percussion because the low hat notes are kind of acting like perks anyway. But we could add an open hat. Let's add this one. I like this one as well. Copy this. Could add a second note as well. Alright, so I wouldn't add any more drums than that. The only thing we need is an intro that we could also use as a bridge. So let's bring this over, make it 16 bars. Let's bring the melody back. With this lead, I'm going to bring that over. We'll get rid of this, and then we'll gradually fade this one in. We'll just keep the sub bass in the second half. And also, if you wanted to make it like Dumb, Dumb, and Dumber, then in the intro, you could have a different kick. Then we need to throw another halftime on the intro too, but then just have it gradually come up. Yeah, let's get some orchestral drums like this. Just for this intro. And then the very last thing will just be some staccato strings. Let's see if co-producer can find some. I think some slower ones. Yeah, maybe these. Let me slow it down like this though. Also halfway through, we're just going to increase the kicks a bit. Alright, so now the drop's going to sound crazy. This will turn out wild. It's mad. Took a few things out for the verse. Just like the main melody. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one, man. feeling this one. If you want to try co-produce it for free, the link's in the description. Or for more videos just like it, then click up here.